This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on 39 Dunedin News, the city's new dog control bylaws have come into effect. We take a look at some of the changes. Land search and rescue volunteers hit the streets to raise funds for much needed equipment. And tertiary representatives gathered to discuss how to better educate teachers as they focus on improving education quality. Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Rebecca Dupree. New dog control bylaws have come into effect today after months of public submissions and debate on the topic. In some areas, there are now fewer restrictions on dogs, while in others, the rules are far more strict. But council staff say they've reached a happy medium.
It's going from this to this. The signs are yet to be removed from the esplanade to reflect a change to Dunedin's dog control bylaws, which came into effect today. Dunedin City Council Animal Services Manager Ros McGill says many aspects of dog control have changed.
And we've got the St Clair Esplanade, which is the paved area that they're now allowed to have their dog on a lead, which was previously was prohibited.
The changes affect the entire city, including Back Beach at Port Chalmers, known to some as Dogtown.
Port Chalmers is where there's no dog park out there, so we've enabled them to have their dogs off a leash on that road, so to allow them to exercise their dogs there.
There are also changes in Brighton and Smales Beach. McGill says there's a map available online for those who want to know the specifics.
Yes, so they can go onto the DCC website and go into Animal Services, and you will see in the bylaw section right down the bottom of the page there is an interactive map, and if you click on that, and you can actually search the areas that you're interested in.
She admits the issue of dog control is a contentious one, with many submissions to the recently adopted annual plan.
I think everybody's got opinions about dogs, whether you own one or not. You either like them or you don't, and everybody wants to have as much opportunity to exercise their dogs and have a right to be out there with their dogs. But we have to take into consideration both the dog owners and the people that are out without dogs, so we need to make sure that everybody is safe in what they're doing.
McGill believes the council has come up with a balanced and fair approach to the bylaws, which are now in effect. They'll remain current for a decade. And McGill believes it's not a case of the tail wagging the dog. Daryl Baser, 39 Dunedin News.
Emergency services were kept busy this morning as drivers were caught out by icy conditions. Police report at least 15 crashes on Otago roads from 6 a.m. Accidents continued into the day, with fire, police and ambulance crews attending this crash on the northern motorway when a ute slid into a crash barrier. The driver was checked over by ambulance personnel while fire crews worked to free the ute from the barrier. Police are reminding motorists to drive to the conditions on icy roads and watch for shaded areas and bridge decks regardless of the time of day. Dunedin Land Search and Rescue held its annual street appeal today. Volunteers were out around the city shaking the bucket, raising some much needed money, and it's all to help support the dedicated locals who step up when someone needs rescuing.
Dunedin's Land Search and Rescue Group are out in force collecting money to help fund their everyday operations. The unpaid professionals offer their specialist search and rescue skills free to the public 24/7, as well as support for the lost, missing and injured.
People, no matter what happens, will go and look for someone. Anytime, anywhere, regardless, we'll do it. But the funding certainly helps us to do our job better.
However, the organisation needs more funding to keep up with the demand for the service they provide.
Without funding, it would make it more difficult for us. It's the amount of equipment we need to use. Now in today's world, the comm systems, GPSs, all that type of stuff, technology for managing searches is becoming more involved, and as I say, for the training.
The group undertakes a wide range of activities through its 18 specialist teams, including the Land Search and Rescue dogs. Dog handler Emma Milburn and her dog Dart are one skilled pair, doing their part to help people in need.
She's very friendly and worked really hard on her, because the whole thing is her finding people. That's her main task in life, is to find people, and the reward of finding person at the end, and that's the big reward in her life, really. So that's the big kahuna.
Milburn and Dart, along with the rest of the Dunedin Search and Rescue team, are out and around central Dunedin for the entire day collecting donations. All funds raised will help the group carry on providing the much needed service locally.
So, as I say, we're ready to go and help anyone, anywhere, anytime. That's what we do.
The fundraising effort isn't just on the streets, with a Give a Little page also set up for anyone keen to donate. Johnny Appleby, 39, Dunedin News.
Police are calling on the public to help identify the man responsible for a serious sexual attack last weekend. At around 5:30 on Sunday morning, a male was attacked by another male following the rugby test match. The offender was dressed as a woman and was carrying a jacket and handbag. Police say the man is of medium to athletic build with long dark hair and is believed to be Māori or Polynesian. Both the victim and the offender walked along George Street towards Albany Street where the attack took place. Police want to hear from anyone who may have seen anything useful to their investigation. A local discussion is underway to debate the quality of teacher education in New Zealand. The Teacher Education Forum of Aotearoa is holding its biennial conference in Dunedin, bringing together dozens of delegates from tertiary institutions. And this year they're focusing on how best to educate the nation's teachers.
Teaching the teachers. Speakers from education providers throughout the country are in Dunedin for a conference held every 2 years. It's a chance for those gathered to talk about all the different methods used in the classroom.
TFANS is the chance for those initial teacher educators to come together every 2 years in a conference to present the research that's going on in the programs, about their programs, and where they're going in their teacher education.
The conference has been held over 2 days with representatives from nearly 20 education providers across New Zealand, including all the major universities and small specialised institutes. The purpose is to share the information on who is doing what and how they're implementing the best techniques in the classroom.
It's a chance for us to hear what other people are doing and a chance for lessons learned and some discussions and debates on, well, could we use that idea, or we've had that same problem, here's what we did, or that's not an issue we've had, so maybe we need to think about it, and hearing a chance to see what others are doing.
Delegates have come from a range of providers that offer teaching qualifications at different levels. One of the topics up for debate is around whether the teaching qualification standard should be raised from undergraduate to postgraduate. But it could mean less institutions around the country will be able to offer courses, therefore meaning less teachers.
We opened this conference with a panel of the Education Council, the Council of Deans, the NZEI, and the PPTA, where they were asked to address that issue of, are we going to a postgraduate only? If so, when? If we do go to a postgraduate, what happens to the providers of only the undergraduate programs?
The conference has been running biennially for the past 17 years. Conveners hope to join with their Australian counterparts to create a Trans-Tasman Teacher Education Conference in the next few years. Annabelle Dick, 39, Dunedin News.
Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, a local riding group is singled out for special recognition, and competing on the world stage eases the pressure facing some Paralympic hopefuls.
Generally in the winter time, one of my favourite sights is in the evening is looking out over the lights of the city and seeing the harbour absolutely glassy calm. And I think that we've just got a fantastic environment here in Dunedin. It's a great place to live, and I'm very happy to be here.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell menswear, it fits. best in the world.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
Wooltech have the experience and the expertise to supply a wide range of high-quality New Zealand-made products and can manufacture customised products to meet your individual requirements. Wooltech, great people, great products, great service.
Thinking of services for older people, think Enliven. Enliven is a service philosophy where people come first. Enliven is about choice, activity, relationships, respect and security. You can enliven your health, your friendships, your life, no matter what your age. For more information, go to psotago.org.nz or call 4777 115.
Favourite part of winter? I like fashion in winter, I like dressing up in winter, I love having scarves, and I do the same thing for my house. So yeah, it's just that layering effect, isn't it, of how we work, really.
Welcome back. Silverfern Farms have come to an agreement on their long-awaited merger after their contract deadline ended yesterday. The Dunedin-based company and Chinese investor Shanghai Mailing have agreed to a revised date to complete their contract. It was due to be submitted yesterday, but Silverfern Farms needed more time for ministerial review and to answer information requests from the Overseas Investment Office. The companies will now work to have Shanghai Mailing's $261 million investment lodged by the end of September. And on that note, let's take a look at today's markets. The NZX 50 has closed the day up 29 points. It's now at 6,926. The FTSE is up 144 points. And to the exchange rates, the Kiwi dollar is unchanged against the Australian. We are down against the yen and up against the greenback, the pound and the euro. Riding for the Disabled Dunedin is celebrating recent recognition for the work they do. The group was the runner-up in the Sports and Leisure category of the Trustpower Community Awards, and Operations Manager Katie Ferguson joins us now to talk about it. Good evening.
Hi, thank you very much.
How has 2016 been so far for the group?
2016 has actually been a huge year for us. There's been tremendous changes at the facility with staff, the committee, and the horses, so it's been a huge year.
How important are volunteers to keeping things going?
Yeah, volunteers are really the root of the organisation. Not only do they help with the riding program, but they also help every day with the care of the horses and the maintenance of the facility. So without the volunteers, there would be no RDA here in Dunedin. So.
Is the organisation growing in terms of the services that you're offering?
Yeah, it's growing, it's huge. In about 2014, we had maybe just shy of 40 riders. We now see weekly just shy of 90 riders, so it's absolutely growing.
Is the Dunedin group the only one of its kind locally?
There is a Wakawaiti group and there's a Balclutha group. I do believe the Wakawaiti group is quite small at the moment, but it is the closest other RDA.
And the Dunedin group was recently recognised by the Trustpower Community Awards. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that was excellent. It's really nice to be acknowledged by the community for the work that's been happening over the past couple of years. And so Trustpower, of course, acknowledges organizations, volunteer-based organizations who are doing work around the community. And to even be considered and nominated was really great. But to actually get the runner-up award was enormous for us. And it really gave us motivation an encouragement to just keep doing what we're doing and to keep up with the changes that we're making and just look forward to the future. So it was really excellent.
How is RDA funded?
It is 100% reliant on donations and grants received. Some of our biggest local supporters are Lions Foundation, Bendigo Valley Trust, of course our lotteries as well, and a few international organizations and national organizations that give us donations as well.
Are you finding it difficult to get enough money to run the program?
Yeah, and that was what sparked the start of our private riding school. So not only do we offer group sessions, we now offer one-on-one sessions. And the reason for that was we needed to start being a little bit more self-sustaining. We needed to make some money for ourselves because the pool of funds for organizations is getting smaller and smaller. And so that started, and we were able to generate some of our own funds in addition to some donations and grants. And so collectively we are able to make ends meet, but it gets harder every year. Yeah.
What do participants get from this?
We actually recently just had a couple of university students who are helping us with a bit of research to gauge some of the benefits and the outcomes for the participants. So what came out of that was an increase in confidence, an increase in communication, and coordination and sort of physical ability for the riders. So those were the main things that came out of the research, and so I think those are some of the main benefits for the riders, which is really great.
What do you like most about being involved with this?
I think what's the most fun and is the most rewarding is seeing the progress. It's really great when people work really hard, they're committed to seeing change, and it happens for them. So being part of that transformation and that progress is definitely the best part.
Well, congratulations on the recognition. Riding for the Disabled Dunedin Operations Manager Katie Ferguson, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
After the break on 39 Dunedin News, the Rio Olympics beckons for some city athletes, and we'll take a look at the results of this week's online poll.
Emu oil has been used for centuries to support joint mobility and tired muscles. Also helpful for supporting healthy skin. Available as oil or in capsules. Go to www.silverhorn.co.nz to order Emu oil today.
Thinking of services for older people? Think Enliven. Enliven is a service philosophy where people come first. Enliven is about choice, activity, relationships, respect and security. You can enliven your health, your friendships, your life, no matter what your age. For more information, go to pearsatago.org.nz or call 4777 115.
Wooltech have the experience and the expertise to supply a wide range of high-quality New Zealand-made products and can manufacture customised products to meet your individual requirements. Wooltech, great people, great products, great service.
I understand now how economics can affect global warming.
And I found out how grass growth in New Zealand affects Fashion Week in Milan.
I can even tell you how smartphone technology affects the survival of mountain gorillas.
Sorry.
Because at the Otago Business School, it's not just about the world of business, it's how business affects the world.
I'm Kim. Michaela.
David. And this is our place in the world.
Take your place in the world.
We're a 25 Moray place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
As the nights draw in and it gets colder, people have always turned towards stories to keep them entertained in the winter. They illuminate the darkness, they entertain you, and they tickle your imagination. Whether you're reading, horrific crime novels, thrilling fantasy novels, mind-bending sci-fi, perhaps you're into the latest literary sensations, or illuminating tales of modern life. Whatever you like, we've got it here.
Welcome back. The city's Paralympic hopefuls are hard at work training for the upcoming Rio Games. There's just 10 weeks until the athletes jet off and they're starting to feel the pressure. But the excitement of competing on the world stage is making it all worth it.
The city's Paralympians were hard at work today with Rio Games just 10 weeks away. They're taking full advantage of the sunny day to get in some essential training.
Yeah, it's going really well. I mean, we're quite a bit ahead of, I feel, where we were this time last year going into World Champs. So it's pretty exciting. We've done quite a bit of hard work over the last few months and it's just kind of starting to show now.
The athletes praise the technology of today for helping them to perfect their sporting performance.
Good high, good high.
Yeah.
So look.
Technology is also helping the athletes move more freely and obtain some of their personal bests.
Technology's pretty good these days, so the limbs that I wear sort of become a part of me, and I feel like I've got 2 legs anyway, even though one of them's a prosthetic.
It's a lot of hard work and commitment for each athlete, with training 7 days a week, not just in the field, but also in the gym.
For me, I've always been right side dominant, not having my other side, and it gets my left side moving, gets some weight through it and evens me up, and it helps a lot with throwing. If you're not strong, you're not going to be able to throw a javelin very far. So.
Trainer Raylene Bates says it's rewarding coaching the para-athletes, and she believes it makes her a better coach.
Adapting certain techniques, adapting different things that you do with the athletes. So it gives you a bit of a broader knowledge, and it does make you, look that little bit further.
The athletes aren't letting their disabilities hold them back from reaching their childhood dreams of winning gold.
No point in dwelling on it. I mean, it's not going to grow back at the end of the day, so you just got to get on with life and just take what's given to you, really.
Both Robertson and Grimuli are off to Australia next week for competitions ahead of Rio. Mick Sweeney will stick around town, getting both prepared and excited for his first ever Paralympic Games. Henry McMullen, 39, Dunedin News.
The movement to legalise euthanasia in New Zealand is gaining momentum. Around 22,000 people have so far had their say on the call for an inquiry into public opinion on the matter. This week's 39 Dunedin News online poll asked if you think that euthanasia should be legal here. 78% of you agree it should, 22% of you think it should not. Thousands of people have taken part in nationwide rallies to end New Zealand's abysmal child abuse record. A march was held at the Dunedin District Court to coincide with the sentencing of the 2 people charged with the manslaughter of 3-year-old Moku. Next week's 39 Dunedin News online poll asks if you feel that more should be done to reduce the country's child abuse statistics. Be a landslide vote, I'm sure. You can vote at our website, dunedintv.co.nz. And now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. The city's dog control bylaws have had an overhaul, and council staff hope they've struck a balance to make all dog owners happy. Land search and rescue volunteers are fundraising in the CBD for their annual street appeal to help pay for much needed equipment and training. And dozens of tertiary delegates are in the city for a biennial conference debating the quality of teacher education in New Zealand. Well, it's time now to find out what's going to be in the weekend edition of the Otago Daily Times. And Dave Cannon, Mr. Wash, joins us. Good evening.
How are you? Good.
Thank you.
Saturday, of course, big paper. And it'll take you all weekend to read it, I think.
Yes, going to break it up into sections.
Big story tomorrow, the Methodist Mission is planning to build a $500,000 facility for homeless youth in Dunedin, which is a follow-up to our story recently about some youth trading sex for somewhere to live in town, so it's quite a good story. The icy roads today, you guys knew about that, so we had a bit of a follow-up on that. Obviously, some roads weren't gritted as early as they probably should have been. And Allied Press, who you may know, we're announcing a huge new home show that's been planned for November in Forsyth Bar Stadium. So it's very exciting. Like no other, I'm told, like no other home show. So there we go.
Dita.
And of course, Saturday, the big reads in the mix. We have the mix feature, which is the International Science Festival, which is coming up. And we just had a food waste conference. There's a big story about that. And our sports editor, Steve Hepburn's had a long talk to Jamie Joseph about the Highlanders and about his career himself. So there's heaps of reading in the weekend edition of the ODT.
Lots to keep you busy. That is the ODT. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Time now for local weather.
This 39 Dunedin News weather update proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn's Emu Oil.
And here is our city view. It's taken of smoke rising out of South Dunedin chimneys. Well, around the city today, it's 3 o'clock, 11 degrees in the central city, 13 for both the Gardens and the Tyree. To the situation, and a ridge of high pressure is across the country now, but from Sunday, a westerly airflow will develop. To the forecast for the main towns on the lower south for tomorrow, westerlies with the risk of showers in Invercargill and Gore, nor'westers for Tiana with some rain there and a high of 10, high cloud increasing in Alexandra with 11 degrees. High cloud increasing for Queenstown, Oamaru and Wanaka, but a fine day awaits Twizel with a high of 10. And Dunedin tonight, more frost with a low of -2. Tomorrow, sunny at first with high cloud increasing, nor'east winds and a high of 10. And on Sunday, sunny periods increasing with light sou'westers and again a high of 10. So you can take your pick for washing day this weekend. And to the Otago Pellet Fires tidal and fishing information, low tide tomorrow morning is at 7:15. And high tide on Sunday afternoon is at 10 to 2. And fishing conditions look really only any good tomorrow morning at around 9:20. Well, that is all from the team here at 39 Dunedin News for this week. We'll leave you now with some shots from the week that was. We'll see you again on Monday. Have a great weekend. Good night.
When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind worked backwards just for a minute, I'd hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.